Local story, and it was shared yesterday by Nicole on Trend. She is a top fashion buyer. We've had her on the show before. She's a friend of the show, and she is a cat rescuer. So she currently has 8 cats in her home, and one of her cats, I think she said the name is Billy. He's an outdoor cat, and she found the outdoor cat with what appears to be a pellet gun wound. And she sent a message to her followers: if you know someone who's doing this, please stop.
Well, she found her cat with a wound, possibly from, as Casey has mentioned, a pellet gun, and said this is the 3rd time her cat has been injured by gun pellets.
So she has rescued 8 other cats, and this one will now need to be kept indoors. She hoped that he's okay, and she simply asks those responsible to stop this horrific, cruel behavior. So the video starts, and it's like, my cat has been shot, which makes you think gun, but then you think it's a pellet gun, and then therefore she's speaking to the people in her vicinity, because the reality is, my take on that, with absolutely no background information, is that could be teenagers. That could be people that they got their hands on a pellet gun. And I was trying to go into the laws of are they allowed? And there's specifics. If it's less than 8 joules, I don't know how to pronounce that, but if it's less than 8, a certain wattage of the gun, they are allowed. But over a certain point, there has to be a license. You actually have to be a local to have it. But less than 8 joules, people can have these like air gun, gel guns in their home, but they're not that strong. So essentially, if your child, for example, if your teenager, I can't imagine this is adults, has a pellet gun, maybe ask the question, make sure they're not using it, maybe, because this is what's happening, is that her cat has been shot in her area 3 times.
I agree. And you know what actually really stuck in my head is that when I read, and it says her black cat. Now, I would like to believe that because like kids are brought up with the idea that black cats are bad luck, or black cats are possessed. So I would assume that the kids probably thought like, oh my God, that's a black cat, you know, like, so it's bad luck and it is possessed. So like, you know, like, let's like hit it. I would actually believe that for sure. Because like, for example, like when we were kids.
When you were kids and you were told that black cat is bad luck, we had a similar superstition. Would you go to the extent that you would... No. Take it out with a pellet gun?
Not at all. Not at all. That is something that I think maybe the aggression, maybe they are like boys that are very like much on video games and all of these things, and they thought that maybe hitting the cat with the pellet gun is the ultimate solution to get rid of the bad luck or the possession that, you know, that is embedded in their heads. So this all goes back to like, it's like a circle, you know, a circle of like what their parents have taught them, like as a belief, and then the fact that they are taught aggression, and then as well comes back to the belief that is like in front of them, and they're either like fight or flight mode, and they just like decided to like hit it with
they have that equipment with them.
That's true. That should not ever be the case.
And you're right, it brings you back to, we had Dr. Saliha Afridi in the show, and we were talking about kids bullying last week. It was a great interview if you want to check it out on our podcast. And she spoke about the bullies themselves and like what leads them to it. It's, as you said, it's things that they see in the home. True. I don't know, if there's a pellet gun in your house. I think this story is important because it's happened in their community. It's been 3 times now, and it's because someone has a pellet gun in their home and they're using it in a horrific and cruel way. So if that's the case, pass on the information to stomp it out.